This is your barbell Romanian deadlift. So with the barbell Romanian deadlift, the only difference between a standard deadlift is that essentially we're not taking it all the way to the ground. We're actually starting in our up tall standing position, and we're descending as far as we're able until our hamstrings get really tight, which would end up causing your lower back to round. And you don't want that to happen, so we're stopping right at that point, and we're standing back up tall. We're not a standard deadlift. You'd reach that point and bend your knees to get the rest of the way to the ground. With a Romanian deadlift, we're keeping our knees nearly straight throughout and just stopping at that point and coming back up tall. But you still need to get the bar up. So you're still going to want to use good deadlift form to get the bar up in your starting position. So we want to position the bar so that we get our feet, we're going to approach the bar so that our midfoot gets right underneath the bar. I'm then going to use the texture of the bar, that sort of diamond grip and the smooth part, to determine that my feet are symmetrical in relation to the bar. So that way I know I'm also standing centered right in the middle of it. We're going to bend down, we're going to grip the bar just outside of our knees, and we're going to use good deadlift form to be able to get the bar up to standing. Now, if you're not able to do a good deadlift yet, you don't have the range of motion or proper form to get it all the way up tall, then you can use a stack of plates to get the bar up higher so that you're starting from the lift from a higher position and not having to descend as low. You can use any kind of little tool there that's going to be able to support the barbell and get into a higher position. If you're on your own, you're going to just get in and out of this. You got to have a good deadlift form from the ground if you're not going to use any kind of tool like that. So from here, your feet are screwed into the ground nice and tight. Feet are gripping the floor. Hands are just outside of your knees. You grip the bar, you're nice and symmetrically. You've got your tailbone nice and high, spine up long through the back of your head. Shins just barely touch the bar, and that gets your hips in a good position to initiate the lift here. And your shoulders are right over the bar with your shoulders squeezing back and down. Shoulders are already squeezing back and down at this point. And then I'm going to stand up tall and get all the way up. Now, this is my starting position. From here is where we begin the Romanian deadlift. So my shoulders are squeezing back and down, spine's long, knees are nearly straight. You can keep them a little bit soft, not totally locked out, a little soft. But otherwise, you're going to hold that position with the knees as you then stick your butt out behind you. Some people like to think of this like you're trying to shut a car door. You got a handful of groceries and you got to shut the door, and kick your butt out behind you there. So you're sticking your butt out behind you into this hip hinge. As you descend down, you're still keeping your shoulders squeezed back and down toward your back pockets. Knees are soft. Once you feel your hamstrings are getting real tight, that is when you got to squeeze your butt, drive that tension, pull it all the way up, get yourself up nice and tall. As another point you can think of, when you're getting down nice and low, you're sticking your butt out, shutting that car door behind you with your butt. At the low point, you can think about keeping your butt up and high, like you're trying to get your butt towards the back corner ceiling of the room, sticking your butt back and high up in the air. It's important that you're really maintaining that proper hip hinge and that you stop at the point where the hamstrings are really tight. Because if you go past the point of your hamstrings being really tight, you're going to round your lower back. And if you're rounding your lower back, bearing all of this weight in the barbell, that's a very bad form, really bad for your back. We don't want to go into that. We want to keep that nice neutral form. The muscles in your back are stabilizers for this exercise. So they are working, but when you round them out and then you try to straighten them back up, you're starting to make them a little bit of a prime mover for your spine. And we don't want to make them a prime mover with this movement. They are meant to just stabilize and hold that form locked solid through there, and then you just come straight back up and tall, really driving through your butt and your hamstrings. Your butt, your hamstrings, your prime movers there. Primarily the butt. The hamstrings might be more synergistic with this motion. When you're finished your set, now you have to descend it back down to the ground. If you don't have a weight stack that's going to be a higher platform, you got to go to the ground. So now you're performing a deadlift to drop it back down to the ground. So you're going to stick that butt out behind you like you're closing that car door, squeezing the shoulder blades still back. When your hamstrings are tight, now you're just going to start to bend your knees and set them down straight onto the ground and back down. And then you've finished a nice clean deadlift to properly set that weight back down with good form. Take your time with this. Be sure you're using lighter weights when you're first starting out. Use just the bar. Use just a dowel rod. Get the hip hinge. Really important that you try to get the hip hinge dialed in first before you start trying to do this kind of a motion with weight. But you can work your way up. There's plenty of time to get there, so take your time. But that there is your barbell Romanian deadlift.